The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Jesse Holley, Kurt Daniels, and Nate Newton.
It is Wednesday. You know what that means, right, guys? Hump day. Hump day.
Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something.
Uh-oh.
Let me tell you. I'm just kidding. That's all I got from Nate. Nate was just like, let me tell you.
The voices you're hearing behind me. Well, this is Kurt Daniels. We are hanging with the boys to some degree. I'm sitting here in the big boy chair because we're doing another mix and match day. Got Isaiah Stanback on one side. Glad to have you on board, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And Nick Eatman also.
Nick at night.
What's up? Nick at night. How are you guys doing today?
Good, man.
Yeah?
Good. Woke up. That was a good start.
Yeah, that always helps, right?
It's a great start.
Yeah.
Is that the motto?
That's it. If you wake up, it's a good start. You're off to a good day.
Okay.
After that, it's all on you, Nick.
That's true. I mean, you cannot argue with that logic right there.
Yeah, no doubt.
The bar. I mean, and also the bar couldn't be lower. I mean, like that's awesome. You wake up.
Want to go up from there?
Yeah. I mean.
Okay.
Got hit by a car, but I mean, I woke up.
Flipped over a couple times.
Nice. Well, how did you guys feel when you woke up? Because Isaiah, as you said before we started the show, a lot happened yesterday. Just didn't really happen much around here.
Yeah, a lot happened when there was not one star that showed up on doggone news. Nothing about the Dallas Cowboys showed up in the news in that regard. I know there was some news in terms of Dallas, the team yesterday, but in terms of signing anybody off of, or getting any trades, there was no action. And I can't say that I'm surprised. I can say that I'm disappointed. And I think to be disappointed, it means that you have to have some level of expectation that's not met. And, so I guess I have slight disappointment because I didn't expect them to do anything, but I wanted them to really do something. I really wanted them to pull a move that was going to put them over the edge and really give them that advantage and that extra push to go down the stretch like so many other teams seemingly are right now. And I think this year feels more. It feels more like teams are really going after it after seeing what LA did last year. Yeah. I think teams are now more willing to give up picks. Teams are more willing to sacrifice what's so-called their future to go after the bag, right? Because that's ultimately what you're playing for. Planning for the future that never comes is not a strategy, in my opinion. And I think LA showed that, and I think other teams now are really jumping on that bandwagon. But to that point, I know one of the positions we were talking about was offensive line yesterday, and that didn't happen. None of it happened. But receiver as well. So for them not to go out there and get a receiver, I think that also gave Dallas fans a boost of confidence in terms of where James Washington must be in terms of his health.
Yeah. And that, and also how they view certain players. I mean, there's some reports that they were close to making a couple trades here and there, or at least one in particular with Houston. But I think at the end of the day, money played a factor. And also kind of what I talked about before about what are you looking to do for your whole room if you do this with CD and Gallup and, of course, Washington and all that. And so I don't think there was anyone out there that they thought they needed to come in and kind of – it would be one thing to fit in, but I think for what it was going to take for some of these other moves, it was going to have to maybe flip it upside down. And I don't think they were ready to do that. I think so, yeah.
Flip it upside down as far as – the chemistry in the room?
Yeah, I mean, you'd be paying a guy per year as much as you're paying all of them combined, and the production wouldn't have matched. Then you look at other moves that were made, like the Bears got Claypool from the Steelers. I mean, you could look at that and go, "Man, why couldn't we have done that?" But would you have wanted that second round pick? I mean,
no, not for Claypool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like,
but would you have maybe for some other the deal they were talking and here and there?
I don't think you're looking. I think he's looking at a first round pick.
Really?
I mean, I think the price was high. The price was high, and the money was high. And think about it like that,
money
too.
Can always be worked around, right?
It couldn't have been worked before 3 o'clock, apparently, yesterday. Yeah. But also, you're looking at it, too, like what this does for your cap. You've got 2 defensive players that are going to break the bank.
Right.
And when you pay your first-round pick, that's what's the beauty of a first-round pick, is that they don't make a lot of money right off the bat. But if they would have made a move like what's been talked about yesterday with Houston, you are paying next year's first-round pick a lot of money, which you kind of count on having that player, at this level right here. That's what happened with Cooper when they traded for Amari Cooper. The next year and the year after, your first-round pick is getting a lot of money, and that's what makes your cap go upside down. So,
see, you brought the name up, so I'm going to bring him up now. But I think what happened with Amari Cooper back in the spring overshadowed kind of what is happening. It's making everything now worse, I think. That deal just looks worse and worse and worse the further we get down. And so I think the fact that Cowboys fans are now seeing – not only did you bring somebody in, but you let a second-round pick for Claypool, and you got a fifth for Cooper, a top 10 receiver. It just overall it just doesn't look good.
But the reason why that happened is because of the contract.
I don't buy it.
But that's the reason why there's a difference in the fifth and the second rounder. That's why his value wasn't higher, because they're having to absorb this huge contract that the Cowboys paid for. And that's why the money, it's not like they were just saying, "Oh, well, all these other receivers are better." When you do a trade like that, it's the money that you're having to absorb. That's why they didn't get a whole lot of value for him. But I agree with y'all. It was not a good move. I never wanted to trade Amari Cooper if I was the Cowboys. Never. I didn't like it.
Yeah, and that's, it's a dead horse that I shouldn't be even bringing up to beat on. But I think it just, fans see that then, and then they see what happened or didn't happen yesterday, and it just kind of piles on.
And then they see how well he's still playing.
Yeah.
He's playing well with who's Brissett. You would like to think he could have been better. I think it makes the other guys better. He's such a good route runner. He's
a dude.
Now you mentioned kind of the chemistry aspect, and you, if I heard you right, you were sort of limiting that to the receivers, and you'd be paying one guy maybe as much as you all the other guys.
Yeah.
But how do the other guys look at that in the room? Is your defensive guys sitting there going, why this offense needs why didn't we do something here? Is it are players looking at that as
I think they look at it and understand the dichotomy of the team in terms of where is the weight being placed. You understand now as a defender, if you didn't already you already knew as a defensive player on the Dallas Cowboys that you were bearing the weight of this team right now. You had the hope that they were going to start figuring it out. You also had the hope, based upon your depth chart issues right now at certain positions, that they would have tried to help themselves out, right? Because right now everything's hope. We hope that our offense starts getting back to where they were last year. We hope that some of these receivers get healthy, right? We hope that everybody, that Gallup gets back to being what he was last year. Like it's a lot of hope.
You hope Tyron Smith is Tyron Smith.
You hope Tyron, so hope is not a strategy. Right. Hope is not a strategy. So I think as a defender on this team, you're like, all right, it's on us.
Yeah.
It's on us. We have to start finding ways to create turnovers like we did last year. We have to start figuring that out, because right now, aside from last week, our team has not put up a lot of points. And you can't put a lot of weight on last week. They're a professional football team, but it's the Bears.
Yeah.
But they were number one and top three in the league in pass defense, so that was an accomplishment in terms of what you did there. But overall, you chop it up as this is the Bears, right? And you have no choice but to start making comparisons to some of the teams that you're going to face, that you have already faced. You talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. You see what they're going to do offensively. You know they're going to be a problem. I don't care how great your defense is. They're going to still get some points.
Right. Yeah.
It just is what it is. And you want to be prepared on the opposite side of the ball to be able to make up for that gap.
I think hope is a strategy.
Really?
I really do.
a good one?
I think that's the way we live our life, honestly. I think we do. I look at it that way. You do have to hope, especially when in a contract situations like this with money involved, you hope that these things fall into place, and because that's how we live, When you're driving down the street on a four-way stop, you're hoping this guy and this guy stop and hit the stop sign, You're hoping that the plane lands when you do. That's what you hope for. That's the strategy. That's how you live. And you hope that Tyron Smith, I paid this money, hope he comes back. I hope James Washington is what he is, because we've already invested into it. Right. And you don't want to just –
I get it from that standpoint. I guess when you are in a position to control – the outcome.
Yeah.
Right. When you're in a position to control one element of this equation, you would like to think that that your organization would do so, especially coming off of last year. They have history to look at.
Right.
You have history now. If you didn't have anything to look at and you had no perspective, then that's one thing, right? But you literally just look back 6 months.
Yeah.
Look back, see what happened.
Right.
What happened? You had an amazing team. Your team was healthy. You couldn't have dreamed to be healthier than you were going into the playoffs. You couldn't have dreamed to have, your offense playing better. Like everything was going the way that you ever write it up, and it still wasn't enough.
Right.
So understanding that and understanding that you're not even where you were last year as a team, you would have liked to see some moves made.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think though that if this would have happened like a couple of days later, I think maybe Cowboy fans would have said, "All right, well they did something." I mean, they did go get Hankins, and I don't think that's a bad move because, like you said, you going back to the 49er game, they got their ass beat in that game. They got beat up at the line of scrimmage. Yep. I don't think. He's just one guy, but I don't think they're going to be moving him around. I think, and they drafted that way too. They drafted bigger guys, tougher guys. They tried to go for size that way. I don't know about the offensive side of the ball. They're not really bullying people around on offense yet, but they try, with Peters and. We'll see how it all shakes out. But I'm just saying, I think they have tried to say, all right, we got to be a physical football team. That's why we got bounced in the first round last year. And I think they've made an effort to
You think they're more physical now?
I do. I think that they're more physical. Their offensive line, though, I mean, I think it's. I mean, they drafted Tyron Smith. I mean, he wasn't ready to be like a polished tackle guard, but he's a big man. Strength is what he's got. Yeah. And he'll develop into that, but he's not getting pushed around. He's getting some technique here and there. He has some penalties, but I think as far as strength goes, they've added strength with him.
So, and I'm not in the front office, obviously, but it feels as if some of these teams around the league are piecing together their teams based upon what they may face in their division and what they may face in their conference going towards the playoffs, right? And that's how I see like a lot of these organizations now are kind of scheming their team. Okay, all right, we're 49ers for say. Okay, let's go out there. How can we just make things impossible for defenses? Oh, let's get a McCaffrey. Right? Okay, think about the Philadelphia Eagles. How can we make Dallas one? We know Dallas likes to run a lot of play action. How can we just take away their running game? Well, let's just load up the front end of big boys. Right? Okay, and then guess what? That's not enough. Let's go out there and get a defensive end out there that can go chase after that. Teams are literally piecing together teams to handle the organizations and handle the franchises that they know that they have problems with and that they need to take down. And I feel like everybody is starting to do that but Dallas. Yeah. I don't feel like Dallas has put together – now, defensively, Dan Quinn is a genius, and in terms of pass rushing, if you force any team to throw the ball, then you're in a great situation. But in terms of what teams do in the NFC East, they run the ball. And I don't think that they have done enough there to overthrow that. And if you know that you can't stop teams running the ball, then you better on the other side of the ball be able to score to keep up, to give your defense a chance. And I don't think that they've addressed it in that regard.
Yeah, with the last two playoff losses, they got ran over, literally ran right over. And then we saw that in the Eagles game when it was go time in the fourth quarter. They ran it 7 straight.
11 straight.
Just crazy. And so, I guess – I keep going back to because I do think they've gotten more physical, and the Hankins move was definitely
huge.
Good. But I don't know,
I think the Hankins move was directly because of that Eagles loss.
Yeah, And it was. Did you see the splits on the average yards given up rushing when
with
he was
him
in and when
no.
he was out? Yeah, it was like 2 yards difference.
I was tweeting this out. He was active for the game. He hadn't played yet in that first drive when the Bears were scoring and they got 3rd and goal from the 4 or whatever, 3rd and 2 from the 4, and they ran Montgomery up the middle for 2. And I'm thinking, why is he not in the game? Yeah. I mean, if you traded for him, you've made him active. He's got to be ready to play. Why is he not here? I mean, Odigizua is getting moved over here, and I mean,
did he play more than you thought he was going to play? I think he finished with 30 snaps or something like that.
He did. He didn't play early as much as I wanted him to play. Get him. I mean,
didn't play the snaps you wanted.
Well, I mean, first quarter or second. I think it was second quarter. It was
why give them a chance?
I mean, that's this is a tailor-made play for him. I mean, it's 3rd and goal from the 2, and they ran the ball right up the middle. Yeah. So, anyways, he played, and he'll get accustomed to it. I don't know what all the reasons for different packages that they have, but I do think that he's a guy that will help them in the middle, especially help them on those RPO read options.
Yeah. But again, as far as guys, you went through a few of these trade deadline days. Guys in the room, it's you don't feel there's any remorse or what happened or we should have done this or that.
I don't know, man. We don't know what happened in the front office. We don't, right? I mean, you probably have more insight than anybody in terms of some of the things that happened. But obviously they cut Tristan Hill. I would imagine that you would have tried to.
They did try to trade him.
I'm sure they tried to trade him and they couldn't, right? That's how it works. So, I mean, but I don't know, man. As a defensive player right now, I'm like, we need points, man. Yeah. We understand that we're beasts, we're dogs on this side of the ball, but crap, there's gonna be those days. Yeah. There are going to be those days, and when those days are happening, we much rather have a lights out offense that just lights up the scoreboard. And you know that you're capable. That's the thing. A year ago, you were literally the best team at that.
That game against the Bears might have hurt themselves. Like, wait a second, do we really need to be? I mean, we just scored 42 on offense, 49 points. Yeah. The Bears, the Bears won't be making the playoffs. There's going to be better teams than
they still put up some good points too.
Yeah, they did.
You know what I mean? Like, crap.
Yeah. I really believe that games take a life of their own. I think sometimes, like that Lions game. When it was 10-6 in the fourth quarter, I think if the Cowboys had scored 20 more points, I think the Lions scored. I just think sometimes your sense of urgency changes a little bit. It's rare to get these 49-0. I mean, when one team is scoring, the other team scores, and it's just kind of the way the game goes.
For sure. Little game of Pong.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take our first break. Maybe we'll move on to some other things. Maybe we'll take some calls. You want to give us a ring at 888-855-2297, 888-855-2297. Some other questions. You mentioned Tyron Smith. I might have a question for you. We've been talking defense. Might run through that a little bit more. So give us a call, and we'll be right back on Hanging with the Boys.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Back to Hanging with
Limited tickets for the remaining home games of the 2022 Dallas Cowboys season at AT&T Stadium are available now. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium. When I left the press box, though, yesterday, everybody said, to the people that work up there, the attendants, we'll see you Thanksgiving. I was like, wow, wasn't even November yet.
Isn't it? Yeah.
But that was it. That was the last game at home until Thanksgiving when the Giants come to town.
Yeah, we have, technically one game in November?
One game,
it's strange to think.
Bye week, 2 road games at the Giants. Never thought that was going to be such a huge game.
Yeah, it's going to be
for
big.
Thanksgiving. What a good call by the NFL to put that one there. They hadn't played them in, I think it was 30 years. They hadn't played the Giants on Thanksgiving since '92.
Oh wow!
You know what happened in '92?
Tell us. Break it down.
Well, week 1 they played the Redskins, and that's what they were called then. So I can call them that. They beat them 23-10. Then it's week 2. No, I'm just kidding. They won the Super Bowl that year.
Nice. All right. Quick question I wanted to bring up for you. I don't know if we need to get too much into it. I feel like this is a subject for maybe later down the road. But since you brought up Tyron Smith, at first we were hearing he'd be lucky if he'd be back by the end of the season. Now we're hearing it could be 3 or 4 weeks. And coming off our recent Dak experience where he was going to be back in a couple of weeks, is this just all smoke, or is this really going to – should we believe anything that's being said?
Yeah, I think he looks pretty good. I've seen him a couple times.
Have you?
Yeah, I saw him about 3 weeks ago just doing a little movement, and I thought, in a month, that's going to look a lot better. And then in 6 to 8 weeks, that's going to look like playing football, And so I think
you look skeptical over there.
I haven't seen him. I seen him in passing, but I haven't seen him actually doing football movements. But I don't doubt it. I mean, he's not a human. So I mean, some guys are born, some guys are created. He's in the created category. So and I think it helps him to see a young gun actually doing a relatively good job in his position. He wants his spot back. These are competitors now. These aren't guys who just don't care and I'm getting a check. There's a handful of individuals that are just built differently mentally and physically, and there's that competitor in him. Right? Forget the veteran. I want my spot back.
Yeah.
And that's your motive. That's now my motivation as I'm training, as I'm doing myself with Britt in the rehabilitation, as I'm in the weight room, with Harold Nash, I'm lifting weights with that on my mind. I'm getting back. And then, I'm thinking about the opponents too, but I want my spot back.
Yeah, that's a good point. And another thing that I like about this is that there's no secret he's got issues with the neck, the back, the elbow, the shoulder. It's all connected together and all that stuff. And it didn't take long. It doesn't take long in the season for one of those things to flare up on him and stuff like that, and he just kind of needs the rest. What I do like about what we've seen here is that he's going through this knee, hamstring, whatever it is. It's both of those, the back of his hamstring and knee area. But he's not getting that wear and tear on that shoulder and all that. So when he is back and ready to go,
as healthy as he
should be as healthy as he could be. Yep. Exactly. Because even when he would say that going into training camp, and then you got training camp and you got a couple things here and you got these. You're going up against these young defensive ends that want to prove themselves, and so he's getting hit and all that. Now it could take a game, 2, 3 games, whatever. But I do think he will be as fresh, his whole body, and like you said, hungry. Yeah. I mean. There are some players that'll fool you. I think Kawhi Leonard is one in the Clippers that you look at his personality and you think he doesn't have. And Mark Cooper was kind of that way too. You think, well, they don't have that fire. Not everyone's Ray Lewis coming out of the tunnel doing his dance. Not everyone does that. Not everyone's Michael Irvin. People can play with fire and intensity and not have all that. And definitely Tyron Smith has been that way.
For sure.
Nice. Okay, well, I'd have more questions for you, but Chris is demanding that we go to the phone. So, Chris, who you got?
I don't demand anything, but if you want to talk to G in Jersey, he's on the phone.
Oh, man, G in Jersey. How you doing, sir?
What's up, fellas? Kurt, I missed you last week, man.
I know.
I got the chance to see everybody, man, but I definitely missed you, man. I left you a little shirt there. Isaiah left you a shirt as well, man.
Okay.
I hope you guys can enjoy that. Yeah, it's hanging around here somewhere, man. I'm sure somebody has it, man. But listen, guys, I know Cowboy Nation is kind of panicking and upset about the front office not pulling the trigger on the trade yesterday. But I just want to say something, man. Before the season started, the offensive line was a mess, right? And everybody said, we're going to have a bad year because the offensive line isn't put together once we lost Tyron. Where are we now, guys? Right? I think this offensive line, we have to give them more credit than what we have. I think they're probably amongst, they're one of the better groups around the league, right? Amari Cooper got traded, right? Everybody's upset. But we're 6-2 without Amari Cooper, right? We got Dak Prescott back after 5 weeks of not having him, right? And we went 4-1 during that stretch, okay? And we've won 2 games with Dak back at the helm, all right, to put us at 6-2. This thing is not as bad as people make it out to be. I just want to give the Jones a little bit of credit for not making a trade in the offseason for that offensive line. Man, once Tyron got hurt and right now, because they're showing that, listen, we know what we have in-house, and we're gonna trust the coaching staff to get this thing together. And I'm looking forward to the second half, man, because this team has still not played at 100%. Every week we've missed the starter, right? And I just want to see this thing at 100%. I'll let you guys go. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, G. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, that's true. We're 6-2. We've done it with guys missing, but I think last year, here we are again, 6-2, and are we ready to take that next step? Without offensive.
I have to be. No matter what I say, I'm considered a hater for whatever reason. I just speak the truth. The reality is, beginning of this season, okay, and obviously once the season starts, rankings change. I think Dallas had the second easiest strength of schedule in the league.
That's the start of the year.
At the start of the year, yeah. I'm just saying, once the games start, things change. Okay, you having a really good coach in Philbin, who unfortunately, but fortunately, has had a lot of practice at shuffling around offensive linemen and getting a lot of guys prepared. And then you go out there and you did make a signing. Okay, you went out there and you got a Peters, right? You didn't feel like you needed to go do anything drastic in the offseason because you knew there was a handful of options out there, worst case scenario, that you can always bring in. Boom, perfect. So that was your counter to Tyron Smith going out. Okay, you had a couple backup plans. Okay, you drafted Matt Waletzko, and unfortunately he was not able to go. Waletzko couldn't go because he popped his shoulder out. Okay, so that was one of your backup plans. Your other backup plan was bringing in Peters, right, and having Peters in there. Okay, that's there, that's in place. But then you also had the rookie that you didn't plan on playing out there. So you had 3 backup plans for him going out. Okay, boom. So that's been addressed. Okay, good job. All right, front office. Now you look at Cooper Rush coming in and simply just steadying the boat. Cooper, I don't think anybody's sitting up here saying Cooper Rush just played amazing. You just asked him not to mess up.
Right.
Just don't mess up. And luckily you had a defense that was lights out because your offense wasn't doing anything at that time either. Okay, Dak comes back. Dak's first game this year, he didn't do anything. Okay, the offense scored 3 points. His second game this year, all right, got lucky from a couple of interceptions not really getting taken that were thrown up there. And then last week he started looking like himself because he had a running game. Okay, so things are getting figured out. When I speak in comparison to the best in the league. I don't talk about the people that are necessarily on your schedule. I don't talk about all that. Like, I address it week by week, but I think about when are the games going to matter. Nobody cares. You can go under. You think New England cares that they went undefeated that whole year and didn't win the Super Bowl? Nobody freaking cares if you don't walk away with a ring. It's the same result. You feel the same. You walk to your locker, you get a black garbage bag, you throw everything in your doggone garbage bag, you throw it over your shoulder, and you walk out saying anything but ho, 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 because it's not great. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was not the Christmas that you wanted. So when I look at when I speak to it, I speak to it from the perspective of I've been in a position where you go home early. I've been in a position where you go home late in the playoffs. And I've been in a position where when you walk away with a ring, there's only one that matters. Yeah. And that's the comparison. So everybody that keeps comparing to, we're 6-2, we're this, that's cool. That's cool, but what happened last year?
Right.
What happened last year? You went up against some goons that walked out your stadium and walking out the locker room with the speaker box, and those are the teams that you're going to have to face. And all those teams are loading up, all of them.
Yeah. So, but did the Cowboys not load up? Like they've been doing some of this beforehand. They didn't do it at a trade deadline. They did some of this beforehand. And it's all about pushing the right buttons. I mean, like, what if they would have gone and panicked and got a quarterback? There's no quarterback out there, I don't think, that would have gone 4-1.
Nope.
I don't think there was a quarterback out there that would have done that. I mean, that was a good move there. So I think I agree with the caller. The caller, we talked about bringing energy. Sometimes some people do. So the caller brought energy.
He did.
He definitely does. And I agree with the fact of giving some coaches and the staff credit for some pushing the buttons. And, I did this last year where I don't do the whole what about the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I don't, Isaiah. And that's fine if you do, but I don't because
you've been here so long, you're jaded.
I've just been through a lot of 5-11s and some 8-8s and all that where I literally enjoy the ride. That's just what I do. And I'm on my show and they make fun of me for that because I enjoy the ride. Yeah. I get the point. You've got to think like that and think 2-3 shots ahead.
Wasn't last year a gut punch, though?
Yeah.
Oh.
But let's do it again.
I drank the Kool-Aid last year. I was all in.
But
we're going.
it's going to be a gut punch for anybody. It's going to be a gut punch, and that's why I don't build it up. I mean, it is what it is. Let's go. Let's see what happens. I mean, bye week, then see what happens. And yes, I think that you've got to get ready and you've got to be physical. I mean, Jerry's already thinking that way. He was asked on the Fan the other day about, are you okay playing this style of football and short, these low scoring games and no room for error? And he said that's the way the playoffs are. So we're getting ourselves kind of ready for that. That's the way that they think things are going to be. We'll see. I mean, because San Francisco, they beat the Cowboys. They go to Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers having this great year. MVP. I mean, he scored a point. I mean, he scored a touchdown, in the snow. You just never know how those games are going to go, and you got to get in. You got to get in first. But I think they are built for it. I really do. I think they're built for a game like that.
All right. I can't tell if Nate's positive or jaded and negative here. I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know where Nate is.
Oh, did I say Nate? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
If Nate's around.
Nate.
If Nate's around.
Oh, my God. Let's go to break.
Nate's positive
here. Right.
and negative. He's both.
That's true.
He's pegative.
I'll try to regroup when we get back. We'll be right back. Hanging with the boys.
Oh, Kurt.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of Cowboys fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great Dallas Cowboys seats.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
Back to Hangin' with the Boys.
Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. This show is presented.
The whole show.
The whole show is presented by Wingstop. What's your favorite Wingstop flavor? Do you have
I like
one?
The original, pretty much. I stick pretty basic.
Shocker.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
a lot of
he doesn't
flavor
leave
going
the
on
box
over
too
here.
much.
A lot of flavor.
Yeah, I'm vegetarian, but when I did eat, I was a teriyaki guy.
Yeah.
I like the yaki.
You?
Like garlic, Parmesan, lemon pepper, something like that.
A little bit of everything, huh?
That's me right there.
Yeah.
You gotta brush your tongue after that one.
We're also sponsored by blockchain.com. We need to throw them out there as well.
What's your favorite blockchain? I don't even know what that is.
We've been talking. We need somebody to come in here and explain that.
Yeah, we're waiting on the Fed report to come out today. That's what I'm waiting for.
Ooh, man. All right, hey, Chris, let's knock out some more calls.
All right, we got Joe in Albany.
Hello, Joe. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Good afternoon. Happy November. Hope you all are doing well. Isaiah, I am also a vegetarian, so, solidarity there.
There we go.
My question today is, who is the biggest hater, Jesse or Isaiah? No, just kidding. Just kidding. That's not my question. I actually got two questions. So, in the past, it seems that this team has always come out very flat after the bye week. I know this is a new coaching staff, new regime, but have you seen anything to make you believe that that won't be the case this year? And then for Isaiah, what did you as a player do to try to keep yourself sharp during the bye week? That's question one. Question number two is just if you had to give the team a midpoint grade here after the bye, what would it be? Thanks,
all right.
guys.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Where do you want to begin with all that?
I'm going to start with the latter. I would give the team a B+ at this point in time. I think the defense is playing lights out. I think that they've taken steps to help the rushing defense, which is the only place they have issues right now. Offensively, I'm still waiting. Last week was good. It was a good start, but I'm still not convinced. I still think there's a lot of errant throws. I still think there's a lot of drop balls, things of that nature. And the rushing attack isn't as consistent as it needs to be, I don't think, yet. Yeah. So I give it a B+, just because I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful where they can be, and I know what they can do off of last year alone. Aside from a handful of guys that we already addressed yesterday not being here, we know what this offense is capable of, and I think it's changing. I think that tight end room starting to take on a lot more responsibility because the receivers aren't putting out as much as they were. So B+ for me there. In terms of what I did in the bye week, the bye week is different. I was actually just sitting down and having lunch with Barry Church, and we were talking about how our bye week was Thursday through Sunday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had 4 days off, and we chilled. I didn't. Some guys left town. Some guys left the country. I chilled. I just posted up at the house and tried to sleep. And I bowled and played Call of Duty and everything else. Now,
as banged up as guys get, does that week really make a difference?
It depends on your organization. I think now these guys get so much time off now. I think now these guys are getting 6 days off, 5-6 days off.
Who's the caller? What's his name? Joe. Respectfully. Get your facts straight.
Uh-oh.
Get your facts straight. Seriously, respectfully. Because that isn't the case. They've won 5 they're coming off a bye week. They've won 5 out of 6 coming off. And not only that, the year that they didn't win was that game was 2018 coming against Tennessee with Amari Cooper there. But then they only won 5 in a row after that. So they won 5 out of 6 coming out of the bye. And I'm looking at 2016, they won 5 in a row after the bye. That bye didn't mess them up at all. 2017, coming out of a bye, they won 3 in a row. 2018, like I said, they won 5 out of 6 with that Amari Cooper after the Amari Cooper trade. And for some reason now, I'm failing me here. I'm trying to. 2019, I think they won 3 in a row, but they won all of those games. So they've won their game coming out of the bye 5 out of 6 times, and I think most of these, it's been multiple wins. So they've used the bye. Now, it's different coaching staffs, but still, McCarthy, Garrett, whatever it is, what they're doing here in the bye week has worked. So
awesome.
Just letting you know.
Keep it rolling.
Respectfully. And the last 3 wins have been on the road. Have been two in Minnesota back to back. They went to Minnesota back to back seasons on the bye. This year it'll be Green Bay, then Minnesota.
Okay.
They've beaten the Vikings on the road 4 straight times.
That's hard to believe.
I mean, it's a tough place to play, but for some reason they've had some success there.
Yeah, it's going to be tough this year.
Yeah, it will.
Another call there, Chris?
I do. I have our boy Anthony in Miami.
Anthony in Miami. How you doing, sir?
My dude Kirk, what's up?
Doing good. What's on your mind?
My guy Isaiah
what's up,
and
man?
Mr. Nick.
What's up, bud?
Mr. Nick, I like you, Nick. I follow you. I like you.
Thank you.
I'm going to give it to y'all like this. Kirk, when I called y'all Friday, what did I tell you? We're going to beat the Boys.
You predicted
Didn't I say that?
44-3 or something like that.
You think, and Dak is going to do his thing because he was out with my guy. Now I got something since I can't give it to Nate and Jeff. I'm going to get this to Isaiah and Nick. Picture this, y'all. Forget a trade deadline. Forget the trades. How about getting 2 free agents? Like, say, in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we check on OBJ. We don't have to pay him that much. And if he's good, let's get him on the receiver side. And how about let's get another stud to go along with Big Hank? Let's get that boy in Dominican. How about that? I'm just going to throw that at y'all. Y'all can do that.
Thank you, Anthony.
Right,
you have a good one, man.
All right.
And I'm on the Sud train with you. I think that he's a guy that you definitely can. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
I'm a big proponent of him. You bring him in there and the nastiness that he has, you add that to the defensive line, I'm a big fan of that. So yay to that one. OBJ, I'm not a fan of that one for this organization and for this receiver room. Simply because of the standpoint, if you know his personality, there's nothing wrong with him and his personality, but it fits in certain systems. And you need somebody to manage those personalities. And I don't think that adding him to I'll go ahead and say it. From what I could perceive, a leadership-less room right now, I don't think that's a good situation to put him into and try to have a positive effect on CeeDee Lamb. I don't think that's what you want right now.
Yeah.
Just compare it to, if you can, the Rams from last year. Did they have the leadership? Was it Kupp? He's a leader?
I would perceive Kupp as a leader.
I don't know. I don't know
I don't. Yeah,
Whitworth, I thought was a pretty good leader. I would have compared him to Zach Martin, but I know you're talking about receiver room.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Woods was there, right?
Yep.
And he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. He's always been a different guy. I mean, he's a.
I would just question it because of the physical. I mean, we're already dealing with a receiver coming back from an ACL tear, and he's going to be quite right. I'm not sure I'd add another one.
He's going to get signed ASAP.
Yeah, but let's also remember this. Michael Gallup has always been an athletic player.
Mm-hmm.
OBJ has always been a freak. I mean, like they're just different. I mean, they're different people. I mean, he is a freak of nature. So I think he will be back.
You wouldn't be worried about that then.
He came off it last year.
I'd be more worried about.
That's two injuries.
I'd be more worried about what you're talking about. And I remember early in his career, and Dak has matured a lot since then. But Dez asking for the football a lot, I thought messed with Dak's head. Yep. Because then Dak would come back and then give him 14 targets, and it didn't work out. And
force feed him.
And he Dez wasn't the player at that point in time to do that. And I still think Odell's got some stuff. But I don't know. I don't know how, you're right. I don't know if this would be a good fit. Bring another guy in there like this.
Not that personality. I think you could bring another guy, but not that personality. I just don't see that working. I just don't see OBJ and CeeDee Lamb working in continuity together.
It would be a distraction for the team. Now, it could be a good thing. It's a risk reward. He goes out and he gets signed his first game. You just look at like your ESPN app if you have that. OBJ gets no targets in Cowboys game. I mean, like it would be a story if he didn't get this or didn't get that, and he may not be ready for it. So, I don't know. Sue.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one.
When they lost to the Rams in 2018 season, they handled Donald pretty well. Sue was the problem, and he was a problem with Zach Martin. I mean, Zach had some issues there. Now, that's 4 years ago.
35?
Is he?
Yeah, but Jimmy, you bring him in here with the rotation that they have. You say, I need 20 plays out you a game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you 20. Yeah. I can give you 20 full speed reps. That's all you need from me?
Yeah.
I got you for that.
All right.
And that's 3rd and 2. That's 3rd and 1.
Absolutely.
Let those other guys run around.
Yeah.
You just imagine. You'll be shocked to see how good of a player Leighton Vander Esch is if he had those two guys in the middle.
No doubt. All right, Chris, let's slip one more in if we can.
I've got our guy Bob in Nashville.
Bob in Nashville. How you doing today, Bob?
Hey, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. What's on your mind?
Hey, I had this on my mind. I want to get your guys' take on this. I noticed Parsons has gotten banged up here the last couple of times. Do you think they could possibly wear him out by playing him at the end so much? I don't know, just a thought, because I know he's not the traditional DN size, a little smaller. And I know we need him there at times, but do you think they might wear him out, possibly get him hurt even more? Just wanted to ask that question. Thanks, guys.
Good question. I wish we'd had more time to talk about this because this is something I definitely was interested in.
Is he
saying.
built? Was he man-made or created?
Yeah, he's created. Yeah, he's created. He's a specimen, but if you go back and watch the last 3 games specifically, we had this conversation last year on Talking Cowboys, and I didn't like the idea of him playing at the DN position primarily just because it's easy to target. I now as offensive coordinator, I can say, hey, go over there, let's motion somebody over there, shoot at his knees. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's happening now.
He's
you go back and watch
the
last 3 games, they are literally – he's doing a good job of getting the guys, down and putting his hands down and pushing them, but they're shooting at his knees. They are literally trying to take his knees out. So it takes 1/10 of a second of him not timing that up right. And you have that happening to him 10, 15 times a game. You're rolling the dice.
So we talk about so much he needs to be on the field. He can do so many things. I mean, I was looking last year. You take away the first 3 games of last year when he was still kind of getting into it. He only played. There were only 2 other games that season, so 13 out of the 15 whatever games. He played at least 80% of the snaps or more. He's played less than 80% in 3 of the last 4 games. And so I wonder if they are, by making him primarily a defensive end now, if they're losing out on, like you said, is it they're picking him up more, he's getting beat up more. Would he help the run game more if he was a linebacker playing some more linebacker? I mean, I worry that long term, is this going to be what's best?
That is the risk reward. You're exactly right, and that's one thing about Mike McCarthy is that you can say what you want about the way he manages games or whatever you want to say, but he takes care of his players, and he's going to make sure that this happens. Now, when that happened against the Bears, I mean, they marched right down the field. Now, they marched down the field some with him out there too, but one of the first times they really got it going was the time he was just sitting there on the sideline.
Yeah.
And so, that's what you have to do. You have to figure out ways to rest him. I would call it halftime. That's what I.
Is moving him to linebacker a rest in some ways?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the thing is though, if you go out there and you get us and you have the big boys, you have Hankins, Gallimore, you rotating these guys in there. Now you're not allowing those linemen to get up to the second level. That's why Nick was talking about Van Der Esch, how great of a player he would become if you don't allow these linemen to get up to him. You heard Micah talking after the last game in terms of how they need to do a better job of getting these linemen off of them, right? Shedding blocks is what it's called. Get these guys' hands off you, because once a lineman grabs you, I don't care how strong you are, you're not getting off. So that's why you talk about the linebackers, the Scotts of the world and the Ray Lewises and all these guys. Those guys played for a long time because they had big boys in front of them that these offensive guards and centers couldn't work up to them.
Yeah. All right, fellas, we made it through it.
All right.
I enjoyed it. It's nice hanging out with you guys.
Good stuff, man.
I'm getting a little of your knowledge. Always appreciate that.
I see what you did there, hanging out with us.
Hanging
with the boys.
All right.
What about Jesse and Nate? Do you miss them?
Oh, sure. Yeah, they're the boys.
He knows they're on the other side.
Exactly. No, they know I love them. It's awesome. Yeah. Christopher, thank you back there. Appreciate you keeping us on track. Audio Jazz, thank it is for whatever you do. Brother Will, appreciate you getting us online, and thank you to the caller, Brother Willie. Thank you for doing what you do upstairs. Nick, appreciate it.
Yeah,
as always, thank you.
Boom, good to see you.
Love
guys,
it.
Man.
All right, and thank you to all for calling in and listening each week. We will be back to our normal shows on Monday. We're all getting a little break. Everybody's off tomorrow and Friday, but everybody will be back on the air Monday. So thank you once again. This is Hanging with the Boys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.